Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my first video. With the current events, many of us are in a state of uncertainty. Though one thing is certain, we will have to eat, so let's cook something. First thing we're going to do is get started with a compound butter. Add some olive oil, butter, adobo sauce, thyme powder, and chives into a little bowl. Chop off the root or buttocks of a clove of garlic, and then give it a smash. Hopefully, yours dices itself, just like mine did, but it probably won't. Toss the garlic into the bowl, and give everything a really good mix. Place your mixture in the center of some plastic wrap. Fold the sides over each other. Then start twisting until you get a nice compact ball of goodness. Set that in the fridge for now. Take an onion, peel it, admire it for just a moment, slice it, and set that aside so we can chop some cabbage. Cut the cabbage in half, remove the root, and chop into chunks. Let some bacon drop onto your board and slice it into pieces. Grab yourself a Ziploc bag and magically snap your fingers. This usually forces chicken breast to go inside the bag. Now you'll have to manually add some olive oil to the bag because everyone knows only chicken can just magically appear in Ziploc bags. Roll it up, get most of the air out, and zip it shut. Use a meat tenderizer, or any heavy object really, being cautious not to use the tenderizing side, but the smooth side. Your goal here is to get an even thickness so it will cook evenly. It doesn't matter if it's thick or if it's thin, just even. Get the chicken breast laid out on your cutting board for seasoning. Chicken's pretty bland, so it needs it. Here, I'm just using a good portion of kosher salt and fresh ground pepper. Give them a little flip and do the same thing on the other side. We're keeping it fairly simple for now, but just you wait. Here I'm adding some olive oil to a preheated wok over medium-high heat. Toss in the onions, only to remove them after a moment because you wanted to start cooking the bacon first. Learn from my mistakes. While the bacon is doing its thing, add your chicken breast to a preheated skillet, skin side down. It's always best to keep the curved edges towards the outside of your pan. You'll begin to notice moisture buildup on the chicken, and the outside of the chicken is going to start turning white in color. Now would be a good time to give them a flip. Go ahead and get your onions back in the wok with some of those bacon drippings. Toss in your chopped cabbage, your perfectly cooked bacon, and give that a good mix. Now that we've got some good color on both sides of this chicken, I'm looking for an internal temperature of around 150 degrees before we finish. Add a couple chunks of the compound butter we made onto the top of the chicken. We're going to let that melt down just a little bit. Flip the chicken over top the partially melted butter, kill the heat, and let it sort of do a self-baste. Take your chicken out of the pan and place it onto a clean cutting board. It's not going to hurt a thing to just add a couple more pieces of this compound butter to the top of this chicken before lightly covering it with this majestic foil that actually slices chicken for you. Be sure to taste a piece of your wife's chicken to make sure it's not poison. It wasn't, don't worry. Hey, I want to thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I realize the channel's pretty small at this point, but if you did like what you saw today, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the video. Until next time, see ya.